Spurgeon is 5.5 and Henry is 4.5. Spurgeon, what grade are you in?
First grade.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm in next grade.
What's the hardest thing about doing school?
I'm in next grade. Doing the hardest books.
He's been enjoying it. So we're just using some of these ACE paces for a few of his subjects, such as math, word building, and English. And then we're also doing a lot of read alouds. So working on some phonics.
Back to my channel. It is Thursday, September 23rd. Yesterday I did all these videos and I kept saying it was the 21st. You guys, my life has become a mess ever since I started covering the Gabby Petito case. Managing all of your normal content and then keeping up to date on that has been a lot of work, but I'm doing my best. So yesterday, I apologize if I got the date wrong. It's actually Thursday, September 23rd. There's still a lot going on the Gabby Petito case today. So we'll get to that later. Right now, we're going to talk about Jessa, because she's making a cut with the Duggars that I think is actually really good, and I think you guys will be pleased. Now, we have been covering extensively Josh Duggar's case. We have talked a lot about what's going on in court. Some of you are just tired of talking about it because you just want him to be held accountable. And like, y'all, I can't blame you. He needs to be held accountable, in my opinion. But Jessa just did a video 3 days ago, and she uploaded to her YouTube channel, and she's homeschooling. I think we knew she was going to homeschool. She grew up as a homeschool kid. And Spurgeon, who's only 5.5, is in first grade, which is very advanced. First grade is ages 6 and 7. And he's only 5.5. Now, something super funny in this video was Ivy. She was literally licking a pot. I don't know if she was like physically licking the pot or if she was pretending to be like a kitty or a doggy licking a pot, but you know, your daily Ivy cuteness is right here.
What is 4 plus 1?
Ivy, don't lick the pot.
And then something else that I thought was interesting is that Jessa is taking a break and cutting ties with the ATI, which is amazing if you ask me. So Jessa grew up being homeschooled. She was a homeschool kid. She and her parents went to the homeschool conferences, and they were part of the ATI, Advanced Training Institution. It's the children's branch of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, and the worst curriculum out there. Okay, I don't know if it's the worst, but it's definitely not up to speed, because when you look at the wisdom books, there are about 50 some of them, and you do one and you just start regardless of your acumen, your abilities, and you work on these wisdom books with your kids no matter the age. And they are taught really ridiculous things about how, you know, sin causes arthritis, and how all these things are the devil, like mental health issues are because of sin. And they also learn about the Confederacy and about education and history through the Confederate Army, and how life would be better if the Confederates would have won. It's just not a very well-rounded curriculum. It also doesn't take into account that some kids are younger and need different help. You can't teach a 5-year-old algebra, and they're just not ready for it. So Jessa was showing off what she does with Spurgeon with his workbooks, which I thought was kind of cool. Check it out.
He's finishing up his first workbook of math. He's been enjoying it. So we're just using some of these ACE paces for a few of his subjects, such as math, word building, and English. And then we're also doing a lot of read alouds. So working on some phonics and good stuff like that.
5.
We're using the Sing, Spell, Read 'em Write to do reading and some phonics work still. And Henry's also learning how to read.
So she mentioned that she is using the ACE curriculum. And what the ACE curriculum stands for is the Accelerated Christian Education. It's Accelerated Christian Education offers individualized homeschool core curriculum from preschool through college preparatory levels in math, English, social studies, science, and spelling and vocabulary, as well as various electives for all grade levels. It has self-instructed programs. No lesson plans are required. It says that is one of the most easily administered programs available to homeschooling parents. The program is self-instructional for the student and requires almost no preparation time on the part of the parent. Instead, the primary job of the parent is supervising, motivating, and grading the tests completed by the student. There are no lesson plans to prepare for the program. They also do biblical values. So it says it's integrated into each course are biblical truths and character building principles that provide the Christian homeschool student with a strong grounding in the Bible. A non-denominational program, ACE avoids specific doctrine and instead focuses on the truths evident in the scripture. Students are challenged to be honest, to have integrity, to encourage one another, and to respond with respect, and much more. So she said that he is in first grade, which is a 5-set complete set. So I don't know if she's doing this full set, but according to what they would be learning in first grade, it contains word building, math, English, social studies, science, plus score keys. So there's a complete set, there's a pace set, there is accelerated sets. Basically, you can buy your booklets and then you teach your kids based off these booklets, and it looks like they're learning reading, writing, math, science, all of that. And it moves very quickly, which could be why he is already taking first grade classes. Now, this is actually a wildly popular curriculum, and it's apparently good for an independent learner and someone that you don't need to spend a lot of time teaching. So the Unexpected Homeschooler was researching this, and they said, when I think about an excellent curriculum to make for independent learners, I think of the ACE curriculum. It does a fantastic job of using independent learning strategies, which helps a child take control of their own schedules each week. Depending on the age of your student, once the groundwork has been established, it's possible for him to do all of his work by himself each day with only you giving guidance when needed. When your child is in charge of their own learning, they have skills that's going to transfer into adulthood. It's a wonderful feeling to watch your child working through their studies each day, knowing they're gaining skills that help them be successful. So it sounds like this would be a good program if you have a kid that has an ability to teach themselves and doesn't need a lot of instruction. If you have a child that has higher needs or needs more hands-on, this curriculum wouldn't necessarily be the best for you. If your child specifically were to have some sort of special needs, this also might not be the best for you. While I think it's important that a child learns on their own, I do think there could be some disadvantages to any kind of education that is self-directed by a child. But again, moms, dads, they're going to be very hands-on in the very early days of it. But I guess overwhelmingly it has a good review, and it's better than what she grew up with, which was the ATI wisdom book. Jessa's kids are likely going to be better educated than she was, which is a good thing. Ben did not come from that world, and so he might have had some influence on what they were going to do for their schooling. He might have been able to provide some insight about better alternatives, better options. I know that the Duggars have, in a way, kind of moved away a little bit from the ATI. They don't use it exclusively anymore, but Jessa grew up doing hardcore ATI. So it's good to see that she's picking something different, and just kind of shows to me that she's, again, kind of taking steps to sort of disconnect herself from that world, even though she's still very close to her family. I think it's always a plus when you see someone making movements that are in a positive direction, and that the kids will get a better education than what she did. And if her kids are already reading, like Henry was reading 4 books, I think it's great. I don't think anyone can question that Jessa's not a good mom. I think she is very devoted to them, and I think she loves them very much. And I hope they have success. It's going to get harder as they get older. And I guess when you have a lot of kids, using a curriculum that's more self-directed for the child is easier, because then the mom has to be less hands-on, or the dad has to be less hands-on, and the kid does most of it themselves. And then mom and dad just have to grade the papers. So when you have 12 kids, you don't have to teach 12 subjects at the same time. So in that way, it saves probably time for the mom. Hopefully it won't provide any obstacles, and it looks like she's using other options outside of ACE as well. So if you have experience with ACE as a homeschooler, tell me what your thoughts are about it. I am not a homeschooler, so I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. I'm only reading what's online. I was just excited that she wasn't using the ATI. So tell me what your thoughts are about this in the comments below. Bye, guys.